Good Thursday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here on WFAA and WFAA Plus. I'm Dia Wall.
And I'm Matt Howerton. It's been a rainy morning across North Texas. The radar behind us pretty active still at this hour, making for a messy commute. We'll check in with meteorologist Greg Fields in a moment. But first, Erica Lopez with a traffic alert you need to know about.
Yes, thank you, Matt and Dia. We have issued that traffic impact alert at 6:30 this morning. We've actually issued it since we got on the air talking about this. We've had a full closure of 45 northbound approaching I-30 this morning coming into the downtown Dallas area, and things are still working to be cleared up and towed out of the way. It looked like a earlier overturned semi situation. This is the backup behind it, 45 and Lamar North. I mean, it is an absolute parking lot out here. So I do want to show you the big map this morning. Checking in county by county, we're not seeing red on the map everywhere, but there are wet roads and we are warning you all to take it slow, even though things are tapering off. But this is the big headache that we're dealing with. 45 north, that closure approaching I-30. We also have a 45 south wreck this morning at Main Street. I'll show you that, but we do want to send things back out to Tiffany Liu for an update because it looks like you got through the backup where folks were being detoured on to I-30, but that took a while to get through, Tiffany.
Yeah, Erica, finally cleared out of that situation. It took us at least, 20 minutes to get out of there. It is a full closure on 45 northbound. Right now we are on 30 westbound, heading towards Westmoreland Road, exit 41, and things are looking good. So if you are not stuck in 45, you'll be okay on the roads. The rain has lifted, and so we're going to continue to monitor the roads for you throughout the morning. Let's send it back to you in the studio.
Tiffany,
Erica.
thank you. Be careful on your drive. And for everyone else getting ready to head out, I do want to talk about workaround options because 45 north is the big headache of the morning. 342 and 35E northbound are really fantastic workarounds. We have a crash still clearing 45 north and Overton, just a little bit south of that I-30 crash. Looks like in Tarrant County, we finally reopened and cleared at 35W and Golden Triangle in the Saginaw area. But again, this is really the big headache that we're following. We do want to send things over to Greg because that rain is tapering off.
Yeah, it's tapering off, but some big problems out there that you've been talking about. So what you need to know, yes, the rain will be ending here a little bit later here this morning as we go through the morning commute. In fact, but we do have another weather alert day in place for late Friday, heading into early Saturday with more widespread showers and thunderstorms expected to move in. It will move out, though, the rain will, just in time for Easter Sunday. It's going to be much cooler, though, so we'll talk more about that with those temperatures heading into Easter Sunday morning. But here's what it looks like on radar for you right now. The heavy rain has moved on out of the Metroplex, but we'll still see some light showers that have moved back into Tarrant County. Those are going to push over DFW out toward Irving, but very light with that activity. The heavier showers well off to our east as we zoom out a little bit more. Or we're not going to zoom out on that view, but we do have the heavier rain down, still heading down I-45 and I-35 as Erica was just talking about with traffic. But we're going to have those mid and upper 60s here for you this morning. So it is going to be warm out there for us as we head out the door, and a very warm afternoon. The rain does end. Still that weather alert in place for this morning, but skies become partly sunny later today. Those south winds, they will be quite gusty again today out of the south, 15 to 25, and a very warm 85 for that high later today. But we'll get more into the timing with the rain and storms coming our way as we head toward the weekend, toward Easter weekend here in just a little bit. But now, Matt and Dia, back to you.
All right, Greg, thank you for that update. We appreciate you. Make sure you've downloaded our free streaming app to your TV. WFAA Plus gives you access to our radar 24/7, so you can track the storms not only today, but the ones coming this weekend.
A live look at the White House behind us this morning. The world watched as President Trump gave an address late last night focused on the future of the war in Iran.
Here's some of what President Trump had to say.
I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, so it was obviously a pretty important address last night. The Trump administration and President Trump kind of discussing, if they can find an off-ramp in the conflict with Iran, but also promising to continue those strikes for the next couple of weeks. There are going to be a lot of people on Capitol Hill today providing some criticism, specifically Democrats. Well, it'd be important to hear from Republicans, too, to hear what they thought of his speech.
The president also called for other nations there across the pond to get involved and engaged, particularly when it comes to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Again, we're watching gas prices and the impacts on the market market as it opens up this morning. We'll be sure to keep you updated on that.
Yeah.
It is 6:35 on your Thursday, and it's been 2 weeks since a woman was seriously injured in a home explosion in Lake Dallas. Now neighbors want answers.
Residents packed City Hall Wednesday night as they pressed city leaders and Atmos for an update on the situation. Luke Clary joins us live from Lake Dallas this morning. And Luke, what did officials have to say last night?
Matt, Dia, well, we heard lots of anger and frustration, calls for accountability from the folks in the crowd, the leaders trying to, to say that they're looking into this and that they hear those concerns. But where I'm standing right now, just off of Mosley Street, you can still see where that explosion rocked this neighborhood and left a hole in the ground. Take a look. Investigators have set up a floodlight here. And so just on the other side of that fence, you can see some of the rubble, that damaged car, all of this nearly 2 weeks after the explosion. The damage still visible, so too is the uncertainty in this area. Last night, neighbors packed City Hall, pushing for those answers after the March 19th explosion. They raised concerns about the aging infrastructure and some frustration over communication after some were forced to evacuate. A woman was pulled from the collapsed home. She remains in the ICU and has filed a lawsuit against Atmos. City leaders say that they hear those concerns and admit that their response fell short. Atmos Energy says that the explosion was caused by a natural gas leak from a pipe installed in 1970, but say that testing across the city shows that the system is safe.
We're committed to understanding what happened and taking appropriate action to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
We remain confident about the safety of our natural gas system in Lake Dallas.
The Texas Railroad Commission is still investigating the exact cause of that leak. Atmos also says that it has a plan to replace aging pipes across the city. Now, city leaders say that last night was a step in the right direction, although they acknowledge that there are many questions that remain to be answered. And for many people here in this community, that uncertainty is hard to shake. Back to you.
All right, Luke, thank you so much for that. We talked about the president's address earlier regarding the war in Iran, and joining us now from our nation's capital, ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce.
Yeah, Mary, give us a rundown of what the president had to say last night.
Yeah, good morning. And this was the first time the president has spoken publicly, addressed the nation like this in prime time since he launched this war now more than a month ago. But his speech really left more questions than answers. He touted the military successes so far, argued to the nation why he felt this fight was necessary in the first place, and promised to finish the job soon. But he offered no clarity about what comes next, no details about the path out of this conflict. And he's also vowing future escalation, threatening to attack Iran further in the coming weeks if they don't come to some sort of deal. Now, the president yesterday said he's not concerned about removing Iran's remaining enriched uranium stockpile, which of course is at odds with why he says he went to war in the first place, to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, something that he says the U.S. has now succeeded at preventing them from doing. But guys, he's offered no clear evidence of that.
Mary, what did he have to say about the gas prices that are rising and the other impacts here at home?
Yeah, Dia, the president is certainly well aware of recent polling, which shows that Americans are tiring of this war. They want this to end soon. And of course, he knows that Americans are seeing those gas prices skyrocketing, $4 a gallon now. The president did acknowledge the pain at the pump, but says it's going to be short-lived. He has argued that prices will come right down as soon as this conflict ends. And of course, all eyes continue to be on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran continues to have that chokehold on the critical waterway, but the president says it's up to other countries to try and reopen it.
All right, ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce, thank you for being with us.
All right, Easter services will go on at Fort Graham Baptist Church in Hill County despite a devastating fire.
We just need bodies, whether they know what they're doing or not.
That's Pastor Brian Hill. He's asking for help after an ATV caught fire and spread to the historic church in Whitney. It also wiped out a thrift store that the pastor says helps people in the community. The church hopes volunteers can help fix up a nearby building the fire didn't touch so they can host Easter services there on Sunday.
6:40 this Thursday morning, and here's what's still ahead on Daybreak. Social media companies losing in court.
Yeah, and it could impact laws right here in Texas. Ahead in Texas No Filter, why recent rulings could lead to change right here in the Lone Star State.
Playing hurt? A young North Texas athlete learned the hard way. Sometimes less is more. Our new series Time Out explains why.